sex, women like haircuts. Go on, put that hat back, homie, cause your hair sucks.
In my day, a barber was a counselor, he was a fashion expert, he was a style coach, pimp, just general all-around hustler.
All the 66 years I lived, I said all them things a long time ago. But I say this here, I'm still pretty.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are watching the real Barbershop podcast. Hashtag Supremely Faded with the Supreme Style Barbers. The Supreme Style Barbers are actually up in the building. Say good morning, sirs.
Morning. Yo.
Wake up.
I was about to say something.
We got brother Anubis Heru in the building. Peace to the God. 1770 Solutions.
Peace.
Y'all come into the room. Come into the room. The world is on fire. We got a lot to talk about. The world is on fire. And I'm saying that because the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is raging. People are dying. We don't want to really talk about that this morning, though. Because we don't know what's really happening. We know that we're being fed a certain narrative, but we're going to be wise black men and reserve comment, stay away from all the emotionalism that comes along with it. And this is what I'll do. I'm going to tell y'all this. On Sunday, we're going to celebrate the 28th anniversary of the historic Million Man March on Washington. And we're going to do it at our mosque or study group at 4651 Tulsa Court. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he won't be speaking, but Brother Student Minister Ishmael Muhammad, who is the National Assistant to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he will be speaking. And he's going to be giving us instruction. He's going to tell us what the minister is saying with regards to this war. And that's what we really want to hear. Right. So I want to invite you all to that particular meeting Sunday, October 15th at 4651 Tulsa Court in Denver. Come on and hear what the nation has to say about what's going on. The subject is entitled Atonement and the Great War. So that's what we're going to do with regard to that whole situation. Now, back to our originally scheduled program. We got Brother Anubis in the building. But I wanted to ask because this came across the news feed this morning, and I know the manosphere is on fire. Jada Pinkett's writing a book, or she wrote a book. It's coming out, Brother Anubis. And she's making it tough. She said that Her and Will haven't really been living as married people since 2016, I think. And
Will's gay.
it brings up a lot of questions, right, Chad? Like, what's going on?
Will been gay, man. Since that movie was in Philadelphia or something.
Chad said Will's gay.
6 degrees of
6
separation.
degrees of gay.
He did show his behind literally.
Yeah, Will's gay, man.
Y'all's camera a little bit.
It's okay, Will. You can come on out, man.
He can come in, he can come out, Trav.
Yeah.
Yolanda's in the building. Hey, Yolanda. And Yolanda said, so is she.
Right.
Oh, man, we got some twirling going on in Hollywood, huh? Hollyweird.
Hollyweird, yeah. Interesting.
So they haven't been, what?
They said they haven't been married. She hasn't. I don't know, Trav.
She's been separated since 2016.
2016. What's next, Sayyid?
Makes sense.
What say you?
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
I know Chris Rock like bullshit. That nigga better be married.
He better be married.
Slap me like that.
Right, I'm trying to tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because when you are at that particular level of celebrity and you have a brand and all that kind of stuff, you know, and you got to keep up appearances, and because you got the publicist telling you that this and that, it just gets real muddy, you know what I mean? And I was listening to Method Man, and he was like, I didn't even know Method Man was married, and he was like, yeah, because I keep my marriage and everything private. You know, so, and yeah, Jada's a whole other situation, bro. I think she's trying to stay relevant so hard because, you know, it's like, what does she do other than act occasionally and project her with her red table talks? Like, ma'am, you have no business trying to tell anybody what they should be doing or these different topics and trying to sound like you're the go-to person for, you know, information on how to be a mom.
And she's not.
And she's totally not, bro. You know, that's why I was like, Rainey, stop watching Red Table Talks if you haven't already.
Well, I really enjoyed her in Low Down Dirty Shame.
Oh, yeah, she was amazing.
I love it,
and I think that was the last time she
I love
was
it, man.
really significant to me. You know
In
what I mean?
the different world.
Different world. She was in the Matrix.
Right.
In the Matrix.
Yeah.
But I think that, you know, if she wasn't married to Will, she'd probably be just as relevant as any other actress from a different world right now.
Bro.
Yolanda said that's why her mess got canceled. What got canceled?
Red Table Talk got canceled?
Ain't no way in the world Red Table Talks got canceled. No way.
You don't hear nothing from Cree Summers. You don't hear nothing
Yeah,
from
man.
Jasmine Guy.
And what is this about her reliving this whole Tupac thing? You know what I mean?
That's her ultimate love.
Yeah, dog. And that's how you know.
Yolanda said the Red Table Talk is gone. No way. No way. No. We gonna have to.
You know what, Yolanda? And that's okay.
No, we gotta get some confirmation.
That's okay.
Cause all the negresses like Red Table Talk.
I thought Will say.
Right.
How you cancel an internet thing?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And then she was saying that she didn't want to come out and tell too many people. Like, I mean, who do you think you're going to disappoint? Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting canceled, the show we put on last week,
That motherfucker was canceled before he even stopped.
you guys are so smart in the chat room because everybody was saying they're not gonna let y'all put this on TV. We was going so hard.
It was just natural.
It was just natural, though.
Trying to go like.
Nah, we weren't even trying to go hard though. But yeah, we put it on YouTube and they pulled it down immediately. Because, you know, we're not the typical obedient Negroes. And you know, we need some trust and obedience.
I have keeping watch over the wicked and the good. But
He understood. I told y'all
and
ass.
you know what he wants from most each and every one of you. Say it with me if you really know. Obedience.
We need some trust and obedience. We need some trust and obedience,
Yeah, I
man.
see the movie. Yeah.
So we
What they copyright strikeout? Was that the?
No, we was
oh man, we was on everybody, man. We talked about Jimmy Butler. We talked about Usher wearing the skirt.
tall mini dresses. Talking about the Jabberwocky.
What else we talked? Yeah, don't say it too loud.
Yeah.
We talked about what did Trav bring up? 911. We was all over the place. We was all over the place. But we're gonna put up content that gets banned from YouTube, and I have a lot of it on the Patreon. So I put it in the chat. Go to patreon.com, Herman Muhammad. We're gonna put up all of our banned content. I don't even know how I still got YouTube.
Oh, so they got it. We got something we could put the.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can't stop us.
Freedom of speech is somewhere.
Yeah, real tough.
And I want everyone, if they can, to join the Patreon. I think it works where you can like donate $5 or something like that. And what the $5 is going to go to is we're trying to build a mosque and a school because we need to educate our own. We need to educate our own. We need free, independent education. And so everything that goes to my Patreon is going to go towards that goal. So follow that and you'll get some good content too. You know what I'm saying?
And the school would be for all of our children.
All of our children. That's what it's about. We gotta take our babies out of the devil's school system. And we talked about Keefy D. If y'all didn't know, they caught Tupac's killer.
Hey, it's some shit going on. Hey,
They caught Tupac's killer.
hey, it's some real shit going on with that.
What's going on, Trav?
Like Diddy might need to lawyer up, man.
Man, did you hear Jaguar White going in on Diddy?
She always going in.
But hold up, they like to, they paint her as crazy though, man. But some of that stuff might be sticking right here, man.
Yeah, she was talking about we talked about that last week too.
Yeah, Keefy D said that Diddy was their boss.
Wow.
Diddy must be trying to do something big.
Yeah,
We always
look
look for the hand behind the hand.
Right.
Diddy must be trying to do something big.
Yeah.
A mosque and a school in Denver. Yes, ma'am, Sister Rainey. And we've been working on it for a while. We've actually raised a little bit of money through our other site, denver.org. We have a building fund there. But it's slow going. And real estate in Colorado, as you all know, is at a premium. You know what I mean? So, and we don't want to just lease a building where someone is going to be able to control what it is that we do. We want to actually buy the space. So that's what we own.
Yes, indeed.
So we got Brother Anubis in the building, and Brother Anubis is our resident expert on everything that is weapons, whether it be hands or the thing that you hold in your hand.
Feet.
And he was telling us about there's some new laws or a new law that came out, right?
Yeah, it's always some new laws pertaining to self-defense and being able to protect yourself. Yeah, kind of before I go into that though, as Brother Herman stated, the world is on fire. You got some stuff going on in Ukraine, right? That's been going on for a while in Russia, and then you have this situation with Hamas and you know,
not hummus.
yeah,
Right.
Hamas and Israel, and You know, it's 2023 in October. So, you know, to think that here in these United States, we would never be in a situation or see anything like those citizens or civilians of their country are seeing is kind of far-fetched, right? So what I want to impart on the community is preparedness, right? It's not just about the laws of the guns and the laws of self-defense and all that kind of stuff. We want to be prepared in the event that rockets sent by whoever start flying and buildings start crumbling and electricity goes down for, you know, more than, you know, a few months at a time, or having spotty, intermittent electricity. And really ask yourself, are you in a position right now at this very moment prepared if, you know, something were to happen, right? You got enough gas in your car, you know, you got enough water to last you more than a week, right? And when it goes down, that's when the panic and the scrambling and the chaos starts happening, right? And if you're not calm, and if you're not understanding of, you know, just how to procure certain things, you're gonna be one of those individuals that are panicking. So I wanted to lay that on y'all real quick because it's something that's heavy on my heart, especially given everything that we've gone through already and are continuing to go through in the wilderness of these United States. But anyway, in the state of Colorado, there is a law that just passed. Our resident governor, Mr. Jared Polis. It's going to be overturned, like all this other stuff is going to be overturned. But right now, there is a 3-day waiting period for when you go to purchase your tools. We'll call them tools. Your hammer. Right.
Your heater banger.
When you go, you know, your blicky. Yeah. When you go to purchase that stuff, your bandsaw, right? When you go to purchase that stuff, there's now a 3-day waiting period, which for me, I'm kind of like, okay, how does that deter crime?
Right.
Just delays 3 days.
It's 3 days. Okay, I can't shoot up the school the day I wanted to, but
And your law-abiding citizen
Right.
isn't usually the school
Exactly.
shooter anyway.
exactly.
The guy who's a drive-by shooter, he don't go and buy it
Listen,
down from the guy.
He's gonna buy it
wherever he
from
gets it.
the underground cop,
Right.
right? Let's
Right.
be real.
Uh-oh.
I know some people that have had their firearms taken and have been acquitted of everything. They should and go into the evidence locker and they don't know where it is. They have no, what's the serial number again? Oh,
Right.
I don't see it in the computer.
Right.
They don't solve that joint, man. Stop playing. Right? So, 3-day waiting period, it's a farce. Now, however, in California, their magazine restrictions have been lifted after, what's that lady's name? Shoot, I need to look it up real quick.
Feinstein?
Yes.
Diane
But after Feinstein checked out of here, all that stuff has been lifted.
Right.
So now you can have the magazines and, you know, all that stuff, and even that type of stuff with the ammunition restrictions on. I can carry 20 magazines on me right now, and each of them only carry 10 rounds. I can load a magazine in less than a second without looking at the gun, right? So none of that stuff matters. It's just the continuous restrictions on law-abiding individuals, and none of that stuff has any bearing on crime, criminality, or what have you, So, but yeah.
Yes, sir. And let me do a disclaimer. We're in no way advocating for anyone to go out and get guns or whatever. Whether you carry a gun or not, that's entirely your choice. This show is for informational purposes. We want to let you know what is going on, right?
Yep.
And so that's why. And Brother Anubis is what's the website called, Brother Anubis?
1770 Solutions.
1770solutions.com.
Yep, 1770solutions.com. You are the solution. No one's coming to save you. We focus on empowerment, education, and training. So with that, there are certain communities that are barred from carrying firearms on your person. However, there's always non-lethal options from the everyday, scuffle or attack or disagreement that should have been de-escalated, but it got out of control, right? Mm-hmm. The firearm legally is always the last resort. But we know that the ego, right, is going to be like, you bruise my ego, I'm about to take your life type of situation.
Right.
The mentality of many individuals, not everyone. So I particularly love to carry my, where is it? Flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Herman, close your eyes for me real quick. Okay? This thing is bright. It's 118 lumens. Okay? It is made of aircraft grade aluminum, which is very, very tough. Okay? It also has an additional ring on it so you don't drop it, but it has this little knuckle right here that can be used as a self-defense one-force multiplier.
And it's a little communicator.
Right? So, yeah, I am a firearms instructor. I do advocate responsible gun ownership and firearms safety, but since I was 14, this is right. This was my first and last resort. It was never to, use a firearm to defend myself. So that's the other thing. It's being able to stay calm under a chaotic situation. Okay, so yeah.
What's one of these runs?
Okay. So I was gonna go ahead. You can answer that question first. How much that runs?
This particular company called Cloud Defensive. This is rechargeable. It has the clip, and it has the additional finger ring. And like I said, I could drop it, I could throw it, I could throw it at somebody, which I would never do, but it's very durable. Shockproof, all that good stuff, rechargeable battery. So this goes for about $189 on the website. But just like all my tools, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah,
That's more than a flashlight.
Yeah.
One force multiplier.
That's a lights out, right?
Lights out.
I'll blind you first and then I'll finish you off.
And look, I gotta show some love to those who are in the room. We got Sister Yolanda, of course. Michelle's in the building. Brittany's in the building. Big Mike Thompson's in the building. Who else we got up in the chat? Rainy's in the building, of course. My sister Waletta. Good morning to each and every one of you. Thank you all for watching. What I was gonna ask Brother Anubis is, in the nation we do survival training, and we also have emergency management. So what else, when we talk about being prepared, what are some other things that people can do, right away to start getting prepared for, just in case something jumps off?
So one of the things my wife and we advocate is having a go bag. Some people call it bug out bag. Some people call it bug in bag, but I like to call it go bag because sometimes you may be in a situation where you have to from where you are, something bad happens and you have to get home, okay? If there is an EMP strike or the highways and roads are full and you're stuck on the highway and you got nowhere else to go, you're gonna, if movement is life.
Right.
So if you're static for too long, you're more than likely going to be, a victim of something. So you got to get moving. Well,
Right.
that bag should have all your provisions that could get you, from point A to point B. So having some calories, some food, right? Having some hydration, having a first aid kit, right? In case you have to control the bleed. So we also do these emergency first aid courses where we teach you how to control the bleed, stabilize, that kind of stuff until if, emergency services can get to you. Electricity, communication. So it's not just having a cell phone, because what if the towers go down or the
Right.
satellites or whatever?
Right.
You want to have some type of radio communication device with, your family members or something like that. So creating a nice, robust kit that's not too heavy, but you also want to be light.
Right.
Be able to move. How do you make a fire? Right?
Right.
What if your home is a 30-minute drive, but a 12-hour walk?
Right.
Right? And you gotta stay put and, stay warm because of the weather. So it's all these different things that you want to have in your kit just in case something happens, right? So that's one of the things you can create. My wife and I, we are putting together a class on how to have a very comprehensive go bag in the situation.
Right.
I also carry, some type of edged,
Right.
right? And this is for if I gotta cut myself or my loved ones out of a seatbelt,
Right.
right? Or cut their, and I have scissors that, you can cut their clothes off. You have to apply a tourniquet,
Right.
or something like that. So, it's not always just about the physical fighting. It's also about being able to stay calm. Because
Right.
if you haven't trained to stay calm when you're being pressure tested, you're not going to be able to do it in real life, in real time.
And your wife also pointed out having a pop-up shelter and medication as well.
So you like a dangerous EMT guy.
So no, I'm not an EMT, right? I'm just, and yes, I'm dangerous. But I am not an EMT. I just understand the very bare bones basics just to get, to stabilize and control the bleed until the real professionals can help out.
And of course, you should have that go bag in a place where you can grab it very easily on your way out the door.
Yep.
What about in terms of being at home for protracted periods of time? Of course, the pandemic, we were all shut in.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh,
And right.
One of them sovereign, I can do what I want. I got my paperwork.
I'm getting outside.
So at the home, just depending on your living situation, we have, in our home, we have the ability to keep large amounts of non-perishables, and we can keep water and medicine, and we can kind of stockpile that stuff as we go, right? So if we're ever in a situation where it's not safe to go outside, unless it's absolutely necessary, we still have, food, and obviously the shelter, and if the gas gets shut off, if the electricity gets shut off, we still have gas. We have generators,
Right.
and all that stuff. And honestly, when you think about it, it's like, man, all that stuff's expensive. Yeah, but you don't want to be that person that's in your house cold, hungry and
Right.
don't have no water, you're
Right.
going to be that individual that's roaming the streets, you know, looking for a victim to survive. So, and you can start small. It doesn't have to be, you know, they sell these kits at Sam's Club and Costco, these 36-hour or whatever survival kits, these
Right.
buckets full of food, right? And, you know, if you have certain dietary restrictions, I understand that as well, but they also sell, you know, gluten-free and, you know, vegetarian options and all these different things. So it's really no excuse to, you know, prepare. You should at least have a 3-day, 7-day, and a 90-day for each person.
Right.
You know?
And my sister said we keep a small survival kit, plus we have a small generator. And just for clarification, make sure that, you know, we're using these big words, non-perishables. We're talking about canned goods. We're talking about having some dry beans, some dry rice, things of
stuff
that
that
nature.
stuff that just
in
requires
bulk, that just requires a little
stuff
water.
that just requires water.
Mhm.
You can survive off of rice
Absolutely.
and beans.
Dry fruit.
You know,
Yeah.
dry fruit.
You know, and it's also I would say something just as equally important in preparing yourselves, but also we need to start getting a mindset of having a little bit more physical movement with our bodies, because you say you have to walk 12 hours,
Yeah.
and somebody doesn't have any wind about themselves or any, you know, lung capacity.
Yeah.
They might have that, but they'll be stuck.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
I would just say, you know, for those listening, you know, the importance of getting out and walking and, you know,
Yeah.
doing a little light weight work or whatever, or
Yeah.
just making sure that your body is physical and can be just as can be rigorous if it needs to be, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, you know, I was watching, what was that movie, Zombieland, and they said the first people to go was the heavy folks, like that couldn't run, and I was just like,
I ain't going nowhere.
I was like, yeah, I mean that's kind of
out of here.
You know what I'm saying? But no, Sayyid is absolutely right. So, yeah, your weight training, just being physically active and walking. Like walking is one of the best ways over time to, you know, lose unwanted weight, right?
Right.
So, and you want to have some type of physical acumen about you, because let's face it, like you can have just like the most crazy haymaker, but if you don't have the wind to sustain,
Or get somebody at least off of it.
right, and also knowing that everybody thinks the punch is the standard weapon of choice, and I'm like, I ain't punching nobody in the face,
Right.
not with my fist. Now there are certain strikes that I do that I, you know, will, you know, throw, but my fist, no, because there's a lot of, even pro boxers break their hands all the time.
All the time.
You know, so it's having that knowledge and that information and how to apply it and when to apply it in a situation.
Right.
Where you kick?
I will. This is your legs are the largest muscles in your body, right? So logistically, there are situations where, yeah, it's appropriate to throw a kick, right? But you have to be trained to know when and where to do that.
Right.
I started off in Taekwondo and quickly learned that, Taekwondo is not the best combat art. Right? It has been used that way in the past, but not for street, because, you know, it's one of your longer weapons, but it's also your stability. So if you miss, or you know, your weapon, your leg is in the air and somebody's, you know, getting to that other leg with the grappling skills, you know, then you're at a disadvantage.
Right.
You know?
And Randy says also in terms of food, oatmeal, pickled items, and to practice fasting, which, man, can't underestimate the importance of fasting.
You on point, baby. Thank you.
His joint. What I also wanted to add to the whole, you know, conversation about a generator and things of that nature, they have these they're not even generators anymore, but they're huge batteries. They're not even that big,
Right.
but they're big enough to carry, but they're big enough to power your entire home. You know what I mean? And it costs you a little bit of money. However, it's well worth it,
Right.
Because you can plug 7 or 8 different appliances in this battery at one time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And depending on what you use, it'll last for a very long time. And then there's also solar cells that you can use to recharge the batteries.
And
so,
they're quiet.
And they're quiet.
So
very
if
efficient.
we running a generator and we the only ones in the neighborhood with a generator,
somebody
they
come.
gonna be like, oh yeah, they got power, means they got food, means it, right? So
exactly.
You know, something else would be good to have, even if you have like a portable generator in your car, and if for some reason your car can't move, a fold out solar sauna where you can adjust the temperatures, where you can plug that up, and then you can kind of house yourself in that for a period of time.
Right.
Stay warm.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing and it's just simple stuff, man. Like, if you need, like, there's people that are like, oh, can you give me a jump? And they have like these little small power cells where you can, with it's fully charged, you plug it up, and you can start your car. Right? So even in a survival situation, that comes in handy, because if you travel out, the further east or the further south you travel, it's like you're out of civilization and now you're stuck. Like, damn, right? Or having a means to, repair a damaged or a flat tire, right? So all these things are just something to really, galvanize the community behind, besides just the combat self-defense.
Right.
But it's also some common survival skills that we really need to tap back into, because we had it before, but because of certain amenities and luxuries, we've got kind of complacent.
Right. Wealthy Miss Yolanda, you guys, says my hubby's new truck has a battery on there that can give our house electricity for 48 hours.
Oh,
that's dope. Dope. Thanks for letting us know that your hubby has a new car.
Tonka truck. That's dope, Yolanda.
Little Brian got a truck. Yeah, there's a lot that we can do. There's definitely a lot that we can do, and it's certainly something that we have to keep in mind. Because you never know. We were always talking, when you see something far off happening, know that pretty soon it might be at your door. So what's going on in Palestine right now? You never know.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it. We saw, they over there wearing masks in Asia because of bird flu.
Yeah.
That was like 2015.
Yes.
Everybody walk around with masks on, can't go nowhere, can't do nothing, and boop.
There it is.
Right.
Just a few years later, we look around like, go get the toilet paper.
Wearing masks, talking
Go get the ammo and the toilet paper.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So, so every month, I started doing this thing, Brother Herman, to where I offer either free or discounted courses, just as a thank you, to the community, or just to help out, because I feel like what I teach and my knowledge is valuable. But at the same time, I feel like we should all have access to it, and money shouldn't be a deterring factor from getting the knowledge and the skills.
Right.
So on November 4th, my wife has already corrected me, I'm sure, in the comments, we are doing a Mama Bear concealed carry course, Mama Bear self-defense.
November 4th.
Yep. So sisters can register. My wife will put the link in the
chat
section.
It's already there. Yep.
And there's maybe about 15 spots left. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to pack it out so it's worth my time and I can teach as many people as possible and get the knowledge, get the information. This doesn't mean just, concealed carrying, but there's also so much other information within that, within the laws, situational awareness, and other things that are taught in the class that I think is extremely valuable. So free doesn't mean there's a catch. It doesn't mean that there's, free is free, right? From my perspective, I know, free comes with conditions a lot of times, but no, this is absolutely free. Just register and show up, and you will get that knowledge and information and get exposed to some stuff that you may not have been exposed to.
But they get a concealed carry license.
They will. They will have they will have the opportunity to get a concealed carry permit if they choose to exercise that. They're more than welcome to do so. But the knowledge and information that I'm presenting will qualify them for receiving that permit.
Right. That's big, man. My wife definitely wants to take part. She already told me when I told her that you were coming on. Your wife said, talk about situational awareness and what that translates to in real life. Situational awareness.
All right, so thank you, honey. So situational awareness is just the awareness of the objects and the people within a certain range, right? So we all have a protective bubble. Some people's protective bubble extends to 6 feet.
Right.
My protective bubble is 31 feet. So within 31 feet, I'm perceiving the objects, the people, the animals, whatever within that time frame, because I know that distance equals time, right? So the further something is away, the more time I have to escape or defend myself, or to avoid that situation altogether. So when we're, I see people all the time, the average person only looks about 3 feet in front of them. And that's just walking, and they drive the same way too, right? So being able to perceive everything that's going around, it's I don't want to call it hyper awareness because you're not paranoid, but you are absolutely aware of everything that's going on around you, especially when you're in public, especially when you're amongst your loved ones. You are that first and last line of defense.
Right.
Yep.
Huge.
Indeed.
Okay. Supreme Style Barbers. Any questions in terms of
What you got over there, Sayyid?
When you gonna have Papa Bear?
Papa Bear? Well, the Papa Bear does not exist yet, Brother Trav.
All right.
However, we are doing a Black in Denver type of event that we have partnered with Black in Denver on. And instead of being free, it is a $20 course that we're going to be teaching. So you are
very well
more than welcome to come to that as well. That will be the following weekend, which is November 11th. I think there's maybe 28 seats that are available in that particular course, but again, it's $20. That puts some skin in the game, right? It's like, oh damn, $20 don't even fill my gas tank, But it's a small investment,
right,
opposed to the $100 course that's on the website 1770solutions.com.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. The Mama Bear thing is very vital, because we talk about, like threats that, show up. People often look for soft targets, and unfortunately they look at all of them as a soft target.
Yes. And a lot of the information that is taught, even the firearm stuff, the firearm safety, can be regurgitated to our children, right? So the situational awareness, the not, don't walk so close to the building when you're approaching a corner, avoid the alleys and shortcuts, pay attention to you know, what's going on behind you. You don't have to be paranoid, but just turn your head to keep your head on a swivel and, you know, walk a little faster instead of just strolling like you don't have nowhere to be. Because if someone is following you, they're gonna have to keep up that same pace. And if just like when you see the caravans with the security details, man, they hauling ass. They doing 80, 90 miles an hour down the highway because they know if another vehicle is behind them doing that same speed, that's a bogey. That's somebody that's, you know, a potential threat. Okay, so we walk. Yeah, exactly. So being able to speed up or slow down, sticking with the crowds, try not to be by yourself as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. So when we talk about training like this and what you offer at 1770 Solutions, we're not just talking about learning how to, you know, walk with a concealed carry or whatnot, but what we're really talking about is life-changing type behavior.
Absolutely.
Like the way you change your whole mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You're retraining your brain to be more aware of all your surroundings and every situation, every threat that could possibly arise at any given time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the type of training that we do, it's it's representative of retraining, like you said, the nervous system to be able to respond appropriately if there is a stimulus.
Right.
Okay? So, you know, we've all been in situations where we have to react, but was that the proper response?
Right.
Right? To the situation.
Right.
So yeah, it's funny because I'll tell this quick little story. My wife and I were driving, the whole fam, we were driving to, I think it was the doctor's office, and we're driving down University, we're past Hamden, driving down University, and in this area, like University and Quincy, there's like this, you can come out on this busy street and turn either left or you can go right. Well, I was in the middle lane and there was a vehicle that was trying to turn across and on to go, you know, on to the left side. So Rainey saw the vehicle because, you know, she's on my passenger side, and she says, "Babe, look out." Right? So this vehicle that was basically, the way I maneuvered the vehicle was I went between both vehicles. And she thought we were gonna hit, but because of that quick reaction, which involved no thinking at all. That's the other thing. People think you have time to think, and you don't. It's pure reaction, right? And judging by the distance and everything else, you know, slight acceleration, I was able to avoid both cars. And she was like, oh my God, like, how did you do that? And I'm like, I don't even know. I can't even quantify the reaction. And that's what you want. You want to be able to, in a situation, boom, 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 and, you know, you just survived a knife attack, or, you know, somebody trying to, you know, snatch you and throw you in the van.
Wow.
And human traffic you, or whatever kind of traffic.
Okay, so you just touched on something, man, that sparked my mind. Explain the importance of, because we talk about training. Training is essentially practicing something over and over and over again until it becomes not just second nature, but it's first nature. So just explain the importance of practicing whatever the principles are that you're giving them in this training course.
Practice makes permanent. Okay? So just think of a musician that is constantly practicing certain keys and chords and manipulations. At some point, the basics become so fundamental that they can start to break rules that their teachers or whatever said, no, you're not supposed to do that, right? So when you're practicing and training, what you're doing is you're essentially installing a certain thing into your subconscious. right? You're making those neural synapses connect, right? Think about this. You ever been frustrated when you're trying to learn something?
Right.
And you're just like, I just can't, I can't get that thing.
Right.
That frustration is key, because that frustration is your brain, that electrical firestorm working overtime to create new neural synapses to connect the muscles. Boom, now you got it.
Right.
Right? So if you don't practice, if you don't train, if you don't get frustrated in learning how to do something, it'll never live in you. And that's the same thing with training. It'll never live in you to the point when you do have to use it, it's not something, it's non-cognitive.
Right. Right.
sense?
That's huge, man. I was watching the Karate Kid the other day. The new one.
The Jaden Smith.
Yeah, which was actually really good. And he's like, throw your jacket down. Pick it up. Put it on.
Is that your first time watching?
Hang it up. No, but just revisiting it. He had to do that thing like 1,000 freaking times to where, you know what I'm saying, once he attacked him with the attack, he was able to respond immediately without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was over days and days that he was practicing just picking his jacket up and hanging it up and putting it on and taking it off.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was in his mind. Just like you said, his brain accepted it as first nature. Muscle memory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's so important to practice, whatever it is. And I'm a student of martial arts as well. And you can't, I can't stress the importance of just learning one simple technique. If my grandmaster used to say, if you can do one technique perfectly, you could probably defeat almost anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just with one technique.
Yeah.
So it's extremely important that we practice whatever it is that we're given, especially when it comes to survival.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly. One thing I want to add to that, Brother Herman, is there has to be a stress or pressure component to learning that skill. Because if you're not, that pressure is going to add that additional layer of frustration.
Right.
Right? If you're, it's just like at the shooting range when I go. If I only train to shoot a paper target at 50 feet or 60 feet or whatever, there's no stress involved in that. Right? So what I do is I take my butt out to our training facility in Bennett, where it's outdoors, it's a range, it's safe, right? It's built for that purpose, and I create a simulated stress for myself. I create time limits. I create moving. I move. Sometimes I'm able to have moving targets and all these different things that add different layers of stress. Right? Because without that layer of stress, you're not going to be able to perform when stress really comes. Right? And that's why sparring is important. Right? That's why that particular, because you can practice, boom. Like Mike Tyson said, you get punched in the face.
Change the whole
and
dynamic.
It's going to change your whole dynamic. And now you're thinking. And then that other person is dominating because they got you where they want you.
Creating that muscle memory. Didn't Bruce Lee is quoted saying, "I don't fear the man that practices 1,000 kicks, but I fear the one that practices one kick 1,000 times." Yeah, absolutely. And then couple that with practicing it in real time.
Right.
Because if you, so say like you have joint locks and manipulations and traps, right? But you're practicing those things under a situation where you know what's coming. Right? Practicing that technique at random, that's a whole nother ballgame. And being able to create that trap or that, block or whatever, because on the street, this is why, dojo dudes. You know what I'm saying? And not ragging on the dojo guys, but if you've only fought the people in your dojo and you go out on the street,
Yeah, you might get work.
Way different.
you might get mocked, and that might be your wake up call to say, oh shit, maybe I should travel around and get a feel for different people. And hey man, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just trying to get my skills up, man. Would you mind?
Right.
I'll pay $20 for the mat fee.
And that's real. And that's real. And you're really talking about next level stuff. Of course, when we go into the dojo, when we go into even going to 1770 Solutions, to your point, we're going to be in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
We're learning the basics on how this thing works, how to be safe with it. You know what I mean? How to make the right decisions. But again, once you get out into the real world, that's not a controlled environment. That's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
So, but it starts in that controlled environment in order for us to get the basics. You know what I'm saying? Just like learning a horse stance or a forward stance. It's a controlled environment that you would never use in any fight. Right? But you still have to learn it in order to get that foundation up under you, to where when you do get into that random situation, hopefully that training kicks in. But it's so important, to your point, just to start. You know what I mean? Just to say, you know what, we live in a very dangerous world, and that's one of the things that none of us can ignore.
Right.
We can try and you know what I'm saying, look at everything as rainbows and whatever. But the reality is, man, Colfax is dangerous.
No, real talk.
It's dangerous out here every day.
Last week, he was like getting on the bus and just just sitting next to somebody and just start stabbing them.
I heard about that.
That's crazy.
It's on the 15?
I think it was a 15. It's RTV. Just get on the bus and sit next to you and just start stabbing. Just run there.
Yeah, so you definitely get into that, man. This is a huge community service, Brother Anubis, that you're offering, because just that training, bro. Just that training. Man, there's so much we can go into and talk about.
Yes, sir.
But it's a huge community service that you're offering, and that people should really take advantage of it. And see what comes next.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully none of us ever have to use it. That's the thing. That you pray that you never have to use it. However, it's better to, how they say it, to have it and not need it, than to need it and not have it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, man. It's always a pleasure to be here, man. Beware of the happy warrior, because he was not wanting to beat you down, but he's happy that you asked him so he could try out his new techniques.
That is real. That is real. And we are running up on time, man, but I gotta thank my brother Anubis Heru. Let's give Brother Anubis up. Randy, thank you so much for being in the chat and giving out that information. Thank everyone for watching. Again, I want to remind you that this Sunday, if we want to learn about the war, don't watch CNN and Fox News and think that you're getting the truth.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that I can say about this whole Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Do not watch these ABC networks and think that they're telling you the truth, because they absolutely are not. But we're having this lecture on Sunday, this coming Sunday, October 15th. Atonement and the Great War is the subject, and we will hear from student minister Ishmael Muhammad, who will relate what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has given him to relate this Sunday at 1 p.m. at our study group at 4651 Tulsa Court. So please show up, and we'll have a good time. And we'll learn something. I guarantee you're going to learn something. I got doggone guarantee. Final Call newspaper. Pick that up here at the barbershop. Behold, I will send you Elijah. We got him here. We got every issue. What else y'all got? Y'all got anything else to sell?
I want to give a shout out to my grandmaster. Faye Davis.
Child wants to give a shout out to his grandmaster.
She used to whip on me all the time, so you know she got me prepared for life.
Hey, sometimes that's what it takes. I want to make sure that you go to astar2.com and schedule your appointment. Man, it's been a blast. It's been awesome. We'll see you all next week. We'll come with something. Remember, also check out that. Make sure you check out our what I said was our Patreon and what it's for. We're gonna get out of here. Remember, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Peace.
Hey, tell me that call with the brother answering.
Oh, and come to the barbershop and get the latest final call with Brother Ansar's coverage in it.
And a bean pie.
And a bean pie. We got some bean pies up in here, so come through and grab you a bean pie. We'll see you on the next one. We out. Peace. Thanks for watching, guys. We both love and appreciate you for doing so, but we need for you to take some action and do us 1 or 2 or maybe 3 more favors. And that is, go ahead and smash that like button. Share it if you really dig the video. And also subscribe. That way you'll get a bell ding, a notification every time we post something. And it also helps us with regards to the algorithm that, you know, your people like to run. So go ahead and do that, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.